So I'm adding to my Moments of Remembrance series, and today I want to tell you the story of my grandma, her passing back in 2020. That year, I was in a Bible study group with some friends at my church at the time. And I recall one of my youth pastors telling me, somebody's grandma is going to pass this year, somebody's going to lose a friend, we're going to have a lot of loved ones that pass on this year because of COVID. And at the time, I was like, well, surely no one in my family, because we always think, oh, it's not going to happen to me. And I remember that year in the birthday card that she got me, it was like she poured all of her wisdom into that one birthday card. And I'd gotten many birthday cards from her my whole life, but none of them sounded like that. And this one birthday card had all of her wisdom in it, like her last bit of everything. And like looking back, every once in a while I reread that birthday card. And it was my 16th birthday. And every once in a while I go back and I reread it, and it's like she just knew that something was going to happen to her. And I didn't see her a lot that year because, in COVID, we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't do anything. I did everything I could to go and see her. I did everything I could to get out of the house, to go be with my grandparents, because they meant so much to me. They were my number ones. There was a couple times that summer she came to my house, and she would bring watermelon, and we'd cut it up, and we'd sit on the porch, and my sisters were super small at the time, and we would play. We'd sit and talk, and it was a good time. Her birthday come up in September 5th, and she was turning 70. And we were so excited to celebrate her, as we always were. Every birthday was really fun to celebrate with her because she loved to party. She had a party cabinet in her house full of different glasses and plates and cups and utensils and all this fun stuff and decorations, and it was called her party cabinet. And we used it all throughout the year for different occasions, different seasons, all of it. It was her birthday, and we celebrated her, and it was a really good time. It was a week later, and she got very sick. She had a high fever. She was also diabetic too, so keep that in mind because COVID was harder on those with diabetes. She couldn't sleep. She was aching, coughing. She dealt with this for a few days. And I remember the last time I saw her in person. It was terrible. We had to bring groceries to my grandparents' house, and the door was shut. We couldn't go in because COVID. And we couldn't go in the house, and we kept the door shut. We dropped the groceries at the step, and she and my grandpa came up to the door, and I was like, I love you, Ma. I hope you feel better. It's like, you gotta get better. And I didn't know how serious it was at the time. I just thought it was cold. We didn't know what COVID really was at the time. And so we dropped off the groceries, and me and my mom, we left. And it was about 2 or 3 days after that, she was like, Jimmy, I can't take it anymore. I need to go to the hospital. And he was like, okay, where do you want to go? What hospital? Because we have several in the area that she could have went to in different towns. She said, I want to go to Jenkins County. Get in the car. He takes her to the hospital. He walks her in. He tried to stay. They wouldn't let him. She had to leave her there at the hospital sick. The nurses realized how serious her condition was, and they said, she can't really breathe. We need to give her a ventilator. And that wasn't on the same day that she got to the hospital. It was a couple days after she got to the hospital they made this decision, because my mom was able to call her and talk to her, have normal conversations with her before they decided to give her a ventilator. We didn't know that would be the last normal conversation we would have with her before the ventilator, because one of the nurses went to put this ventilator on her, and they did it incorrectly. And she was brain dead and had no oxygen for 8 minutes to her brain. She was never the same. Never the same after that. She couldn't function. She couldn't talk to us. She just laid there. That's all she could do. And that was the hardest thing to go through, ever. I will stand by that. That is the hardest thing I've ever been through, is witnessing that. We couldn't be with her. We couldn't go put our hands on her. We couldn't go hug her. Only a few days after they put the ventilator in, they were like, this is not good. And then they took her to Augusta, to a more stable hospital, more intensive care. She was still brain dead. She was brain dead for a few weeks. So we just didn't know what to do. We didn't know if she'd come back. And then the levels were dropping, and she was using the ventilator up to like 90%. And then it went back down, and she was only using it for 40%. She was less dependent on it. And then all of a sudden it was right back up to 90%. It was October. It was mid-October. And decided to let her go naturally. It was not easy at all. I remember one of the last times, because we were only able to FaceTime her, but I sang the song The Blessing to her as she was brain dead, laying there in the hospital bed. It was really hard. Could not be there with her. We had to watch this on FaceTime. I had to watch that happen on FaceTime. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Worst experience ever. After that, we had to deal with all the things that come after a passing of a loved one. We had to go through her stuff. We had to go through her clothes. We found journals and notes. And then we had to pick out a casket and let her lay to rest. I remember after witnessing her passing on FaceTime, I got up. I saw how tore up my mom was. And I knew that it was getting late. And I knew we needed a supper. So I got up and I cooked a supper. And I loved on my mom. Just went from there. And then when the days came for her funeral and the arrangements, we had the viewing. I didn't cry. I only cried when I watched her pass. I didn't cry at the viewing. I didn't cry at the funeral. I should have just let myself have it. Just grieve. Because since then, I've spent years grieving. And that's not fun. I've definitely learned from that experience that just grieve, just grieve. But I'm very blessed and thankful that I have this, along with other mementos that she left me. And that is why I'm doing this series. There will be more stories to come. Please stay tuned. Please like and follow. I love you guys. Thank you for your support.